something being true doesn't make something else also not true. When people experience trauma, they're doing all this like math to like kind of make sense of it because they're trying not to be black and white.
I can't hold all of this information. It feels so heavy. Here, let me show you what I experienced so that you can hold it with me.
Then if people feel judged, right? Then you don't share. Then you end up experiencing violence alone. You can kind of analyze how you might have gotten somewhere, but I don't know if people are really walking around the world, but all of these root causes.
You are not your worst moment. You are not your best moment.
You are in between. What was the word?
Equanimity.
Equanimity. Exactly, right?
So I was listening to something this morning and it was talking about equanimity.
I'm sorry?
Equanimity?
I've never heard.
You've never heard that word
before.
Oh my!
Say it again.
Equanimity.
Equanimity. Okay. What is that?
Which dawned on me. I said, "Oh my gosh, she's so smart." It's the same thing as valleys and peaks. It's the same concept. That like everything in life. Well, it's a little different. Everything in life is temporary, and so equanimity asks you not to get attached to the peak nor the valley. Oh. It is the in between. It is the staying still and like seeing something unfold and move through. And I said, oh, that's what she's been talking about. Well, I knew what the word equanimity meant, but I hadn't seen it in a while. I literally
never heard that word.
I'm going to look it up to see the definition of it, but I wanted to tell you that.
That's an SAT word.
It's a good one.
All right, well, bet.
Equanimity is a state of psychological stability, composure, and even-mindedness that remains undisturbed by stress, intense emotions, or difficult circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What she said.
It's like a stable mind regardless of like what is happening. So it's kind of what you would say about valleys and peaks.
Yeah. No, it feels.
But yours obviously is more approachable.
I just feels like I don't even know equanimity. We love words. Okay, we're word people here.
You know, there's a word for everything. But I thought you should know that.
Thank you for
telling me. That was like a random.
I did not know that.
I started Insight Timer again. Insight Timer is like a meditation app.
And now you're meditating more.
I wouldn't call them meditating. More like listening.
To what?
To people say stuff.
Oh, so there's word. Okay, when I hear timer, I assume it's just giving you a chunk of time to do something.
No, the app is called Insight Timer.
Oh, okay.
And within then within the app, there are like a bunch of different practices. So like I listen to like affirmations, or you can do visualizations, like all different types of meditations. So it could be guided. I mean, most of them are guided meditations. Mm-hmm. But this morning I was listening to the foundations of the like Bhagavad Gita, whatever the hell. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about equanimity. Uh-huh. And they're like short, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20. So you can just listen to them as you go. Obviously, you're supposed to meditate.
But we believe in an active meditation. So, you can be moving if you need to.
Yeah,
I think still it's hard sometimes. All right, bet. I love new words.
Yeah.
It's called Insight Timer.
Insight Timer. I'll show you.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, it's a fun little app. But then they always ask you to do a streak. I'm like, yo, just trying to be here one day. Like, why am I now committing to coming back tomorrow?
Because of discipline.
And right.
That's cool. Oh, I want this app. I like it's so pretty. I like
nice.
The way it's built.
It's really easy to use too.
This is what it looks like on the inside.
No. Anyway.
Okay. Thank you for teaching us about Insight Timer.
I had a friend recently ask me. She was asking me something about meditation. I was like, I don't meditate. The fuck I don't know what gave you the impression that I'd be doing
so many parts of your vibe. What are you talking about? Don't gaslight her. So many things about you give.
She was just like asking me something about meditation. I said I don't sit. I do like walk and I have an active meditative practice.
Yeah.
But she was asking me like I was like an expert at it, and I was like, that's kind of odd.
I think a lot of your personality and things you are interested in and the way you spend your time and what you talk about, all those things I think imply that you might be maybe an amateur expert in meditation. Yeah.
I know somebody reached out to me the other day. They were like, I spent the day in stillness and reading and writing.
That's your entire
I just
vibe.
had such an Adeline day. And I said, you know what?
Exactly.
My brand is consistent.
Yeah.
Which no matter what. Anyway, yeah. So I thought that was funny. But I was like, I don't be sitting down.
You don't gotta be sitting. And you know that. So you can be like, yeah, you don't gotta sit to meditate.
I know, but something feels like I should do that. Like when I sit.
You like laying.
I like laying. But sometimes when I sit in like a meditative pose, I like start to shake, which has been a really interesting experience lately.
I mean, you just sit longer or not sit?
I think I need to sit longer so that doesn't happen. Wondering
So
why that's happening. Anyway, that's my little spiel.
Curious to see how that unfolds for you as we experiment with it. I think we could start with this art conversation. Actually, it might lead us an interesting path. Or like, what is or isn't considered art?
Is reality TV art?
I think that because it's curated, yeah. I don't know who their audience is or who they're curating for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not haphazard. Like there's some sort of like someone's in there making decisions about like what to cut and not cut, what to play and not play.
Right.
So I think in a really broad sense of like curation is art, which I think is like my current take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think that all forms of TV and film are art?
They're all curated, so yeah. Unless it's like just a live stream that's just like playing, like look at this frog in its natural environment, and there's nothing being done besides just like I don't know if that is art to me. I think that is like documentation.
Yeah.
But if there's any level of like edit, like curating for like let's not play this part, let's do that. Like there's some sort of decision making that's happening around like what to sequence. Like those decisions, I think make something curated.
Yeah.
I think curation is art.
Okay.
It's clean right now. I don't know. We're gonna complicate it maybe, but that feels.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I wonder why.
TV is art?
I wonder why people call reality TV trash TV. And I used to say it too, but now I'm like rethinking that stance. It's terrible to some extent. So I think that's why people don't consider it art
because it's
versus like something else. Yeah.
It's
not a movie with a storyline, with a plot. They're not acting. Acting is a form of art. And so maybe that's why people don't consider it.
Well, I don't know if the people in the show are the artists, but I think the production team is the artists. The
editors. Yeah, they're doing the art.
They might have a lot of footage. They're just like, oh, we're never gonna play this part, so we can have this story. Their storylines, like there's curation, and depending on the show, they're like being told to say like whatever to stir whatever pot.
Yeah. For
whoever, and like it looks. Yeah. So there's no way that like reality TV is like as it happened.
Right.
We're not like, and no one will never know. Like, and anyone can say whatever they want, but like, unless you were in the production room and you saw the entire video, like,
you never know.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think people say it's trash TV because it's just a lot of yelling and throwing things and cussing and like
and fighting.
Yeah, and like, and unfortunately, the kind of world people we are, like reality TV that's not that wouldn't be watched. Like, no one's looking for like calm and peace. Because then what are you watching for? You're looking for like some sort of like arc and drop, and there has to be something that like, you know,
there's no drama.
Yeah, peaks and valleys. We need both. Yeah. So I also used to say it's trashy. I don't know if I don't think that's true. Still.
Yeah.
I think for me, like part of my gateway to reality TV was Married at First Sight, the Boston one, and I hate, like, there's just so many seasons, and I was like, I can't watch this of this. But that one I watched because it was local and like my friends were watching, whatever. So I watched that, and then I like made my way to like now I just watch it. Yeah. Like, now it's my life a little bit. But I think part of what's interesting about it to me is I think that my baseline for like what's normal in a conversation or in a relationship
doesn't exist.
Well, no, I think that my idea of normal is based on like my lived experience, and I think that I'm just like, I need to accept that I have an anomaly of an experience. Like no one I know in my real life would like with a 10-foot pole begin to act any of the ways that I've ever seen on the internet.
Right.
And that is also people's baseline. So I part of me watches it from like a sociological place to just be like, okay, let me just accept that like this is some people respond to this behavior this way. I would never, and nobody I know would ever. And like, what an interesting decision. Let's just see what it creates. So it helps me build my bank for like conflict mediation scenarios.
Yeah. And the part that's most interesting to me is seeing the conversations that people have and how they build relationships with one another, or like what breaks the relationships. Yeah, especially with reality TV. Like I look at it more from like a relational dynamic place than anything else. I'm like, so this person said this and now that's how you're responding? Oh, okay, I wouldn't respond that way. That's interesting. Like, what does that mean? Or what does that kind of signify?
I think you and I are just academics. Because we just found a way to take this thing that is like funny, entertaining, to be like, what does it say about you as a person?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting because I can't relate.
No.
And in my head, I'm like,
nor do I want to.
I was like, insert me and I will solve this in 2 seconds, actually. Because like, this is an insane, but again, it's cut and edited. So who knows like how many conversations were happening. I think I've like started to enjoy like watching the reunions of things more than the shows. I'm just like, because it's just interesting to think about like people playing things back and be like, yeah, that was insane. I'm like, yeah, it's insane. Okay, all right. I'm like,
so now you know that you saw it.
Like, I'm glad.
Okay.
And it's interesting to think about people saying like, I didn't know that's how it looked, and I was like, what did you think it looked like? I don't know. So I've never had the experience of being recorded and then like not knowing what I said or did was like is gonna be played back to me with all whatever cutting and editing happens in the in between. So
it's scary.
Yeah, because like they could really like, it's very easy and possible to like cut a part of what I'm saying and then all of a sudden I sound like insensitive or whatever it is, right? Like which is fine for like a storyline, but for reality TV that's like dangerous, right? Because you're telling people this is like what happened. Yeah, like it's not we're not acting, right? So it's an interesting thing. And then there's like shows like that, and there's shows that are like Love Island, Love is Blind, like those other, which is also curated but like in a really, it's like gamified, which is different than like just watching people like coexist somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I think right now we're living in a time period where the fandoms of reality TV are like growing excessively.
Because the drama is growing.
But in a way that I don't think anybody was promoting that they were watching reality TV. Like
right, now everyone's like, me too. Yeah. They're coming out. Yeah, there's some people whose like entire influencer is just like, my episode is just like rehashing what I saw on TV yesterday, and I'm like, word. Like they're like reality TV this and like this show's recap, and like that's like their entire like, I think that's their job.
Yeah, and some people are so good at it. I'm like, wow, I did not watch the same show because I did not see any of that. Right. But I love your take.
And y'all are like caught on. Like y'all like you're watching all of the, I don't know, like I watch them like for entertainment and like to kiki with my friends. Like then I'm going about my like real life. Yeah. So it's an interesting like, and this is their real life. Some people, right? Like the things that we're watching and the drama that's all unfolding, all these things. I'm just like, there are like real people who are like day to day outside of cameras, whatever else, like truly having to navigate like all the emotional turmoil, whatever's happening is like creating, and like it's also like fodder for entertainment. So I don't know, it's a really messy space.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel kind of sad for a lot of people that are on reality TV, only because the public component of it makes everything worse. So yes, your friend betrayed you and they're a terrible person and you're navigating how to be friends with them or how to stay in the same inner circle, but then having the opinions of millions of people
who only saw a show,
who only saw parts of it, who don't have the memory or anything of the relationship before TV, have opinions about it.
Or even like when the cameras aren't recording in the show, right? Like, because they're all like coexist. I mean, this is specific to like shows like Summer House, where like they're like in the same spaces, like they're like recording at some point and they're not, but they're all still there. So like there's a lot that, you know, a lot of context that like they try to recap in whenever they're recording that, you know, like we didn't see or didn't whatever. So like, it's all interesting. It's an interesting choice to be on one. I'm just like, what do you, I don't know, like people like losing jobs left and right because of it. Like it's like you're kind of choosing to change careers, and your career is now like the internet,
reality TV star. Yeah. And the other part about it that feels hard is that if you are in this reality TV show and it's complicated, it's messy, people are fighting, there's so much drama, is that your norm now for how to be in relationship with other people when the cameras are off? Yeah. Like, I just, and if it's the not dissonance, like, then, I'm curious about that.
And if it's not how you are off camera, it's like, where are you finding this like energy on camera? Because like when I think about myself, and again, like maybe it changes when there's like cameras involved or whatever, but like I just like, I can't scream at people. Like it's just not in my nature. I think. Like as far as I know today.
Right.
And I hope like in any circumstance that I like could hold that, but I don't know. It's like it's wild to observe for sure.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they are well into adulthood. Because some of the behaviors that they like emote, like I would have done that in high school.
But I think
I would have yelled at
that's kind of
somebody
my
in high
point.
school for
But
sure.
I think that's kind of what I'm saying is like I don't think that you or my take is like neutral because like nobody behaves that way. I think a lot of people behave that way. Like in real, like in their actual like lived experience. Like the stories I hear from like friends of friends, I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's an insane way to act. But like, so I think your take and my take of being like, that's an insane way to respond is based so much on like what you have like tolerated or like the kind of things that you like that have been in front of you.
Yeah.
That I think it's like my take feels so skewed to me that I'm like I'm not actually judging these people on an appropriate baseline for people's behavior because like it's so consistent across these shows that there's no way it's not a baseline that I'm just like I was like I think I'm the odd one out here versus like that or that behavior.
Yeah, even something as small as like if you were to date somebody or you were dating somebody, I would not step near them in any romantic way ever. That is beyond girl code for me. That's just deplorable. Like that's horrific. I'm like, oh, you were talking to my friend, ew. Like,
just like immediately no.
Either you're cute with her or you're not cute at all.
Yeah,
like that's
the only option. And if she doesn't like you, we don't like you,
then you're
so
then you gotta go.
but that's against like my philosophy and your philosophy is like I care about you more than any man.
Yes.
But that again, like that's a personal preference.
Yeah. Like even in this show that we were watching, Summer House, one of the cast members brought someone that they used to hook up with. And now that girl is dating somebody else.
They brought someone they hook up with into the house?
Yeah. As like their guest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Yes.
What's her name?
Dara?
Dara. Right. Yeah. But if you think about it, like they both were down for that moment, right? Like she came too. Like, so for me, I'm like, everyone's consenting to stuff. And again, like, did they come because it's a show? Like, it's just hard to know everyone's like intention, but it's like me personally, no.
Yeah.
And I can say that like here, but I want to be fair that like there's no like camera or like money being offered to me to change my mind. And I wouldn't change my mind for money or a camera, I think. But I want to be mindful that like I've never been in a situation, so I don't know, right? Like, but I really hope that like I wouldn't give up my friendships for a paycheck or fame, popularity.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's even fame now. Like, yeah, it feels simple, but it's easy to say that from this side, you know, like no one knows us. Like we're just people on, you know, out here who are also slowly getting on the internet, but you know, in a very small way compared to like whatever that is.
Yeah, I just wouldn't mess up my entire life for a storyline to exist on page 6. I just refuse.
Do you think this was happening?
There has to be something that they're gaining.
And you think it has to do with like their public appearance or like they're gaining their relationship? They're like, you know, I don't know. I can't understand the like. It feels so easy to avoid this particular kind of like catastrophe, which is the only way that I can describe what this is.
It is.
If you came to me, like your friend, for like a year and some change, and about a complicated person in your life, whoever they may be, even if like tomorrow you were like, I'm good on it, like never again, whatever. That's great. That's a good decision. Like, there's not a scenario where that person becomes an option. Ever, actually. Not even like for a certain amount of time. None of that. It's just like it's just.
Yeah.
It's just a no. And the other part is like, I watched how this person treated you. Why would I want to be treated that way? If I respect the way that you navigate relationships and I watch how you experience this person,
right?
Why would I opt in to think I would have a different experience unless I never respected you to begin with?
I just don't think that any person that you are seeing romantically is worth losing your friendships over.
Unless you don't have a friendship or you never did.
Yeah, sure.
Which has to be like...
That has to be the truth.
Because like there's no way you're like, I'm giving up my like 5-year-long relationship with this person for this. Unless you were like, I never actually gave a fuck about this person. it was like easy, convenient, like not an issue to be this close to you.
Yeah.
And now it isn't. And therefore now I'm not. Because if it's not that, you're a crazy, like you're like, that's an insane, I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to be neutral. It's hard to be like fair or like to try to see everyone's take because it just feels so easy to avoid.
Yes, like don't date your friends' exes. Even if they were in a situationship or even if they were just like messing around and talking and didn't get to anything seriously. Like,
but it's not, I don't even,
limits.
I think like, I don't, yes. Like, but even if it, okay, let's say, even if that wasn't what happened, right? Let's say Amanda and, what's his name? Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
I should know these people's names better. Let's say like they actually got their divorce. Let's say they got their divorce. Right. And Amanda realized she's like this person, all these things cool. And she talked to Sierra about it. They're like, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. There's a world in which like this doesn't become this scenario.
Right.
Where like, hey, like I'm surprised by it. Like I think I might feel the same way. Blah 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 blah. Like there's a world in which she's like, yeah, like I'm cool, whatever, right? There's a world in which like this same scenario is like kinder.
Yeah.
Even if like you and I have an off limits, let's say Sarah doesn't care about that for whatever reason, right? Like there's a world in which like you consider your relationships and you navigate it with transparency and those things, and then you still end up getting to explore this relationship, but in a way that is not fucked up.
Yes.
So just it's not even like that it's happening. It's just the way it's happening is so inconsiderate of so many people that it's just like, what, like.
Why are you
like what's the urgency? Like what's the urgency for like this level of like catastrophe?
But that's what I'm saying. If you're on reality TV for such a length of time, do you just create that level of chaos in your everyday life because that is what you have been used to?
Yeah.
On screen. Because people like to think that there is such a separation between being on screen and being in real life, and at least with reality TV, it's not that clean or cut.
Yeah. And if it is, like, that feels exhausting.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. It's really interesting. I think what's fascinating about this particular situation is, like 2 months ago, if you told me any of these people's names, I'd be like, who the fuck? Like, I don't know anything about them, right?
Yeah.
Like, the only reason why I know anything is because enough people were like, oh my God, have you heard about it? I'm like, why do you all know about this?
I didn't know this many people watch Summer House, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. And I don't even know if they did, actually. Because like I'm saying, like...
Yeah.
I didn't know one person's name. I've never seen a show in my life. I don't even understand the premise of it. Mm-hmm. And now I have so much information that I've never had that I did not have like recently, right? So
yeah. But that's also what happened with Love Island season 6.
Yeah, because it's not a new show. Same with Temptation Island.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're it's older than now. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the other part that's kind of scary is like in 2 months I have so much content for these people.
Right.
And they can't do anything about it. Like it's just, it's not like a season appears and then disappears. Like that all of it is documented and like available for people to just kind of like
dissect, explain, try to make meaning.
Yeah, like whatever happened in like season 1 is still people can still be like, remember in season 1 this clip of whatever, and like you just can't outlive the things you've said and done.
Yeah.
And of course they're curated, right? So it's not fair to be like, this is entirely what happened, but like this is how it was represented to everyone else. Mm-hmm. And you only do so much to like refute that or like add more context or change the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wild.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Summer House is a reality TV show, and it's been happening for a long time now. I think this is season 10. Mm-hmm. And there were 2 people who were married. So it's Kyle and Amanda. They were married for like 4 years or so. And then they were having a lot of relationship problems. And then they decided to separate last fall. And then I think they were getting a divorce early January of this year. So this season that we're currently watching now, it's like the unfolding of their divorce, or like the incoming divorce.
Right.
And then
are they divorced now?
I'm still unclear if they're divorced. Like, they're legally separated.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Whatever the terminology is. And now there's this other person. Then there's like Sierra and Wes, who dated a few years back, and things ended up being really messy there. Just the way that he responded. He like went on the New York Times, basically said he didn't even like her. Wild stuff. Now, Amanda and West are together, which is just a hot mess. No one saw this coming. So we're just watching things unfold in real time.
The other crucial part is that Amanda and Sierra are best friends.
Amanda and Sierra are best friends. Yep.
Like
and everybody's white
before
Sierra.
right.
Also, that's important. Because
yeah,
the way that people are responding to Amanda is like she's really leaning into her white women tears in this process. So
yeah, it's a really interesting. These are all interesting choices. Sierra's a nurse. I think it's important. She was, I don't know.
Is she?
I don't know anymore. But nobody else in the show besides maybe Danielle had like another job. Like everyone else's job felt like it was like very much in this like space. So I'm curious for them, like what the experience of just having to be like, I work in, I don't know where Danielle worked before, whatever she's doing now, but like just having to be like, I am an employee at a company, and I'm also on reality TV. Like I think those two things are really hard to like. In my head, it feels really hard to like reconcile. Like the.
That's why I think she stopped being a nurse, because she was also a model. So now she's like a full-time model, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure where she stands with being a nurse.
Yeah.
But yeah, reality TV is interesting because something that I also have been thinking about is like Alandria from Love Island, and the fact that she skipped being an influencer or like a reality TV star and just like went straight into being a celebrity. And this has never happened before. And people keep saying to her like, oh, why didn't you just like go on whatever spinoff show for Love Island and stuff? And she's like, if God gave me a chance, like I'm gonna run, is basically what she said.
She was saying that even in the show. I think she really wanted to always be a model, XYZ. Yeah. I don't think I thought about that. You're right. Yeah, because she's not on, what is it called, after the
Beyond the Villa. And she's had a completely different trajectory than anybody else in like reality TV history.
Yeah.
So there are also people like that who go on reality TV but know that that's not real life, and then make strategic career moves to be in the places that they actually want to be in, right? Like she wanted to be in Fashion Week and all of these fashion related events, and now she gets to do that full time. Like she was, I think she did a partnership with Barbie for Coachella.
That makes sense. I mean, she's
Bama Barbie. Yeah. You know, so I look at people like her too, who don't necessarily like getting like engulfed.
Yeah, it's hard. It's definitely an option, but I think it feels like you have to have a really, really strong foundation in yourself or something for you to be able to be like, I don't need all the like attention I'm getting. I can like, it's hard because it's hard to, I don't know, like to say no to things that feel like new opportunities, but you just don't know where they lead to. And like the thing about reality TV that I think should be clear to everyone is their objective is like to entertain, not y'all. Like y'all are the entertainers of like, you know, so like.
Wait, say that again?
Like the show is the show is for our entertainment. Like so the producer, whatever it is, like whatever's happening, however it's gonna be cut together is like not for like clarity. It's for entertainment. So like it might like will comfortably misinterpret you. Like that is like kind of the point, because they want to make sure people are like watching and like are interested, and like they want to like a fight and all these things to happen so they can be like, and next time like that's kind of like, but I feel like that should be clear. There's enough reality TV like out there that I don't know if I've ever seen a reality TV show that's like, we want to make sure we're representing everyone well.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that like the storyline is the truth and accurate and no one's confused. Because that would be a documentary.
I mean, but I do think that it is possible to entertain people, to make people laugh and not be this chaotic and messy. Like I think about like Abbott Elementary.
No, I think it's definitely possible, but that isn't the intention of reality TV.
Yes,
is my point. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm saying that's not anyone's objective.
Yeah,
I think like, or at least from what I've seen, like.
No, you're right.
You know, because like if you think about where things zoom in and zoom out, like what audio you hear versus don't hear, like all of that is like, because if you think about like, they're recording everything, right? So they're going through all of this like camera data, whatever, all of it to be like, what story we want to tell. Yeah. They're like picking a storyline to tell and then like finding clips that support the storyline and then playing them in order. So for us, it looks like it happened in sequence. Yeah. Like there was one like small example. It was like I forget what episode of Summer House it was, but like I think it was like Sierra was like confronting Wes or something. She had asked him a question and he like paused or whatever. He didn't really give her an answer, but in some other interview they were saying there was like a 20-minute pause, like that he like took a break and came back. Like we didn't see that. Right. So it's just like there's so much that like doesn't it would be too long for an episode. Like so there's a lot more. There's so much more that happens that like I feel like people should at the very least know. Or maybe you forget if you're on the show too. I don't know. Like I don't know what happens when you're so used to having cameras around you, but their intention is definitely not to make sure that like you are seen with a holistic light.
Right.
That's why they have reunions. You can be like, and you didn't see, like, never seen footage, and all of it is like it's a game. Like they're trying to entertain us.
Yeah, I think the hard part now, especially with social media, is like the parasocial relationships that people are having. So people are just so obsessive and consumed.
They're like, I know everything about your life because I watched the show, and it's like you don't know anything.
Yeah,
like you actually know nothing. You don't even know like their actual takes or what conflict was like manufactured or not manufactured. Right? Like you don't know any of that information. Yeah. So I think that's why I'm so weary of like, I think even like we don't really talk about like reality TV here because it's just really hard to be like, this is my take and this is where I stand, because all I've seen is what people have like chosen to like share, but like I've never met these people. I don't know what their relationships are like. I don't know what talks they're having outside of like recording. It's just, it's hard to, there's some things that I'm like, that feels objectively wrong.
Yeah,
I can say that, but that's not because I have a take on the person's like character. I'm just like, I don't know, that feels like, not kind.
I laughed because I just got the memory when we were in New York last summer and I met Amanda from Summer House, and you had no idea
like, who was this white woman you ran into? Why are we talking about her? I don't know who that is. Who was Summer?
And it was a Friday at 1 p.m. during the summertime, and I said, she's gonna go film Summer House and I'm gonna see it next year.
Yeah.
And then now we see what actually was going on.
Oh, that was last year because they're going to season 10.
Yes.
Oh.
So
more context. You know what I mean? So for me, last summer, I was like, who is this white woman that you recognize? How are you recogning white women outside? Like
in New York City.
Also, there's a lot of them and they're always going somewhere.
Right.
So that makes it funnier. Do you have any idea which episode it was? Now that you've watched it?
I can't remember off the top. I know the dates, but I just don't know exactly what happened in the episodes to be able to say which one it was. It was like midway through the season for sure.
Because you went in June.
It was like mid-July.
It was mid-July. Was it after the 4th?
Was that last year?
No,
that was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
Wow.
So season 9.
Yes. Oh, okay. That's anyway.
Interesting.
Very interesting memory.
Me being like, why would I recognize her? What are you talking about?
I know. And then me, I'm like, I know so much about this person's life. They don't know anything about me, about mine, and that's
and people probably approach them with that energy of like, I know you, and they're probably like scared.
Yes.
Like, get a security guard.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, because people have very, very strong opinions. It's an interesting.
It's scary.
It is scary. I think even when we first started recording and putting this online, we were a little bit like, like people about to start telling us what they think, and it's like, we didn't ask.
Right.
Actually, like, we're still not asking, just so we're clear.
Yeah. And even in the current episode that just came out of Summer House, one of the things that Wes told Ciara is that he resented her because of the amount of backlash that he received.
For his own behavior?
Which is... The commentary is wild. But again,
that's a big word to use.
I know, resent, which is the reason why he's doing all of this, in my opinion. But again, it's another example of how people just believe that they know everything about you. So they're going to tell you off. They're going to tell you that you did this wrong. They're going to call you all types of words. I assume that he's received all types of threats. And I mean, all of them have, just at some level.
Which is so weird. Like, mind your business.
Yeah, it's really scary.
Like, all of my opinions I've shared with you. That's it. Like,
in community. Like, let's talk.
I've never commented on anyone, nothing. I've never DM'd a person. Like, those are real people who are living very real lives. And, like,
and are complicated.
I respect their humanity enough to leave them alone. Like, they don't need to hear from me. What's my take gonna do for them?
Yeah.
We're never gonna meet. They're not my friends.
Yeah.
I'm down to be Sierra's friend. I'm sure wants to meet in real life. I like her. I'll be her friend. But yeah, it's a strange. You're right. It's a strange, like, I've seen all these clips. Therefore, here's my conclusion. It's like you've seen clips.
Yeah.
Like you've never spoken to these people in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you're seeing is like, consider them actors. Like, it's odd to be like, this is who you are. Because like you've only ever seen them in the summer. What are they doing all year long?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Or like during the week. And there's a new show coming that's...
Mm-hmm.
But even that will be like a part of their week. I don't know. Like, this is never going to be a full take.
Nothing that is ever on camera will ever be a full take of what actually happened. And that's always interesting to me, right? Like, it's just like a snippet of the truth sometimes. And
Yeah.
that's really all you get. But the ways that these companies make money is through our attention. So if someone is having a
that's on lock
complicated,
right now. They got it.
Yeah,
that's why
like
they're
the
like
viewership has gone up.
yeah, like I've never seen a show be like,
exponentially.
here's our seating chart, and anybody cared about it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
the amount of
That's what I'm
commentary
saying.
that
They're like, why
happened
this
that
way?
day.
Why this person? I'm like, guys, like,
Lord.
but they know that, right? That's why I don't think I've ever dropped a seating chart of any other season, except for this one, because like they know that like they can build up the like, you know, momentum.
Yeah.
Everyone's like gritting their teeth waiting, and like whatever video that leaked, I don't know. If you're asking for my conspiracy theory on it, definitely just the whole whatever company recorded it was like, let's just
for sure.
yeah, like there's no investigation. I don't know. I don't believe it's an investigation. If there is, great. I don't know what they're investigating. Like it's out. I think that feels like it's part of their promo. But again, that's my take, and I would never need to like share that with anyone involved.
Right.
Because what is my take going to offer?
Because I don't know you. I do not know you.
All I have to offer is my condolences. Like, best of luck, guys.
Facts.
For real. Like, best of luck. I hope you all have thriving careers and healthy relationships on the other side of this insanity.
Facts. Like,
That's
I wish you well, honestly.
Yeah.
It is not for the weak to be on
No.
reality TV or any type of TV.
I do think hosting those careers is an interesting role. I'm like, part of me is like, it'd be kind of interesting to be the person who does that. Because
I would love that. That'd be so fun.
I don't know how it works if you could really ask all the questions that you're trying to ask. I'm like,
of course not.
But yeah, but I think for me, like, I think I have a bit of like, I'm a bit more of a facilitator. I'd be like, shh, let them finish their answer. Because I'm like, guys, don't you want to hear what people got to say? I want to hear what they got to say. So that also is curated to some extent. Maybe less so than like, you know, that episode. But yeah, it's kind of insane how many people I've heard just be like, and this, and I've heard this girl's name so many times, and I'm like, yes, I know who Amanda is now.
Right.
Like, I don't know if I want to know who she was. Now I know
Yeah.
her. Any of them, you know.
Yeah. But again, if we've learned anything from reality TV show is that it's complicated, messy. People are navigating life in the ways that they know how. And
we're all just a witness to that, which is not great.
No.
So I understand even like for Paige and for Hannah for being, I have mixed feelings about Hannah, but like for them to being like, we're just not on the show anymore. I'm like, that's it, you know. And they're still like because of it, they're like in the limelight still, you know.
Right, they're in the universe.
But they get to curate what they're doing without any other person's like intervention, which is different.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Wish them luck.
Yeah,
we'll see how everything kind of unfolds. I hope things settle down. Because I don't know. I can't have that much chaos in my life. I just can't. I could take like one level of chaos at a time.
It's exhausting stuff. It is entertaining.
Yeah, but it's like people are following you around. They're taking pictures, like the
I'm like,
paparazzi
none
side
of that.
of it.
Like for me, I consider reality TV like a show I'm watching. I don't consider it like someone's life. I'm like, oh, this is like a show. The same way I'd watch like Bridgerton or whatever else. Like it's a show.
Yeah.
And like a show is like a show, and then the show ends, and people get to go back to doing other stuff. Yeah, it's a lot. I think the thing about the thing about truth is interesting because like I think that as people, I don't want to generalize, but this is the only way I know how to explain this for now, is like we like things to be in boxes and things to be easy and like yes or no or right or wrong or whatever it may be, but like something being true doesn't make something else also not true, right? Like it's a really interesting like, and I think like in my head the like level, the sign of maturity for me, like getting older, is like being able to hold that like you are someone who did a really bad thing. You're also a complicated person. Like maybe you're also a parent. Like all these things that may be true about someone's identity, and like having to hold all those things as like as true as a thing that like is bad or as like wrong, right? It's easy to be like you are now a wholly wrong person or a bad person for this thing that you did, and like it's been interesting to think about like how do we hold people's varied behaviors at the same time, and what do we do with all this information we have about people?
And can we recognize that people are constantly contradicting themselves?
Like every day.
Every single day.
And like, at what point do you like excuse it? Because like I think some things that like this has been true in the show. Also, I think in just in real life, to make a bridge is like sometimes people have been like really reactionary, and like maybe that's their trigger and all that. And then it's like the question becomes like, at what point is like is that not tolerable, right? Like what is like at what point do you not get to act out because you like had a bad experience? Like so, but it's tricky to think about like having objective hard lines around these things. Everyone is like talk about trauma a lot, right? Like you rediscover your trauma randomly in interaction. So like how much room is there for grace? Like there's just I don't know. So I've been thinking a lot about like how we hold people's like worst behaviors and their like earnest efforts towards like being human together, and what that like I don't know how to reconcile with like both those things. It's not a fully fleshed out, but
no, I think it's the quest.
Yeah, there's things that feel true about me or things I've done, whatever it may be, and there's also things that like depending on when you know me or when you met me that like would feel like I was like lying or whatever it may be. So like accepting that people are complicated, and that just because someone says something that is like different than something they've said before doesn't make them now a liar, right? Like that can't be like, it can't just be like it's black and white, therefore you're this or that. It has to be gray, you know. That's how people end up in like complicated relationships.
Right.
If it was simple, none of us would be in problematic relationships. We'd all get out of them immediately.
Right.
But there's always like a better side. There's always like a kinder take, like more grace. There's always all these things that like make that space complicated, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's really hard because you want to hold somebody in their dignity and in their humanity, and with that recognition, obviously knowing that you can talk about their behaviors and hold their behaviors accountable. But I think that sometimes what we're trying to get at, especially when we were talking about reality TV, is like people are just really complicated and multiple things could be true at once. You could be a terrible person to someone and then turn around and like be a great friend. That has always been true. And
we can't like why something to death. Like why to do it? It's like it is what we did it. We're here.
Yeah.
It's a situation that we're like and like sometimes the why doesn't get you to a root cause because not everything is so intentional. People are not always like thought all the way through their decision point and they're like that's how I'm gonna behave. It's like that in my experience that happens mostly in hindsight.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of analyze how you might have gotten somewhere, but I don't know if people are really walking around the world with all these root causes at center and then deciding to act based on them, you know?
Yeah. I don't want to say that people act based on impulse, but sometimes they do just react to whatever is in front of them. And if they're not conscious or mindful, then they may not do it in a way that like feels best for them. And then they may rewatch themselves back and then they have a different perspective, or maybe they stand 10 toes down. Cause some people are like, yeah, I was shitty and I will continue to be so.
Yeah, and I'm like, like if you're telling me you want to be shitty, you stay that way. That's fine, right? So it's interesting to think about like how, and I guess I wonder like if we all were like recorded that way, like how much of how like there's probably ways that I'm super inconsistent or ways that like I don't do what I say, whatever, right? Like all of that is very possible, also in our very normal, less chaotic like lives, and we're never asked to like be accountable for like our past in that way, right? Like just because it was like our scene, you know, like the accountability that I feel like your real life requires is like when something harms someone in front of you or whatever, right? Like then there's a conversation. So it's different to think about having to be accountable for like anything you've ever said ever. Yeah, that's hard. You know, and like and it's like you're being asked to be accountable for it like so far out of the context in which that situation played out, whatever it is, right? Like there's I don't know, distance in those things. And then the other side of it, I feel like when people experience trauma, like they do a lot of this like analysis of like, okay, this person a bad person, a good person, like I like them, I don't like. They're doing all of this like math about the people that are causing them harm, to like kind of make sense of it because they're trying not to be black and white. Yeah. Because depending on like who's causing you harm, like for example, like if it's you, if it's like somewhat like my parent or a friend of mine, like I have to kind of think about like this is a relationship that I have in my life right now. If I'm deciding that they're a bad person, like now what does that mean for my life? Like there's all these other questions that come into play. So it's so much more complicated than just deciding that like someone is bad or something is bad, because the consequences of that decision also mean maybe more harm. Yeah, it's really hard for me to hold somebody, like to understand that people are complicated when they continuously choose to engage in like terrible behavior.
that's when things become a little bit more black and white for me. It's like, theoretically, yes, everyone is complicated. Everyone has said things that they probably don't want to say again, and or have done things that they don't want to do again. And how many times could you kind of allow someone to be in their mess? At some point, you either like have to step away or engage them in it and continue to kind of stand next to them, which is, what we're kind of getting at.
Yeah. Because I think that like, as I'm getting older, like I think what feels true to me is that like what needs to change for me is like what we get out of our relationship. Mm-hmm. Depending on who you are, like I think I have like capacity to kind of be a witness to, be like a person who constantly reminds you of something. But like, for example, like if I'm like dating you, then my capacity to date you is going to be different, right? Yeah. I'm like, hey, like we can't date anymore, because like the other side is like I can empathize with like how somebody became a certain way, like trauma, you didn't get your needs met, no one hugged you enough, whatever the thing may be. Like that's completely fine and fair, that's how and why you are where you are. And to your point, like there's some accountability to kind of, like look in a mirror and kind of see those things as true to work on. But if you're unwilling, to your point, like that, I think it's easier to be like, oh, like this is a you're not even trying to look at this, let alone change it. You're not even willing to acknowledge that like this could be a growth area for you. Mm-hmm. That one feels trickier to me, because then it feels like what you're also saying is like you don't value our relationship enough to look at this. Yeah. And that feels, I think I take that personally a little bit. Only if we're like dating or we're like close family or friends. Like otherwise I'm like, best of luck. Yeah. Like that's your journey. You could decide to never deal with whatever, but like I feel like it only matters to me if like there's some sort of direct impact that you're gonna have on the people that like I care for. Yeah. I feel like this is something that I'm still trying to get my head like wrap my head around. Just because like how long do you sit with somebody while they're like maybe going through a really difficult time, and it's showing up in their erratic behavior and the way they're speaking to you, the way they're interacting with their friends, and like what do you do? Like at what point do you hold somebody? Do you invite somebody to take accountability? I think early and often. For me. Because I can't keep my mouth shut. You can see it on my face. Like, I can't even like, it's not going to work for me to be like, it's just, I wish I had a better like poker face. I don't, right? Like, so for me, it's going to be early and often. And I think the thing that changes for me is less like my offering it and more like my support in you accepting it. Mm-hmm. I'll offer it if you ask me. Yeah. And like maybe if in the beginning I might do more to be like, hey, like here's a pathway towards doing so. Here's like one thing we could try. I might be a little more like collaborative. If over time I'm realizing that that's something you're interested in, like, like I don't have to abandon you. Again, it really depends on like so much other context. Yeah. Of like what our relationship is, for that to be the case. But if that's the case for me, I think I have capacity to just be here, as like when it's appropriate to be like, hey, like this is an example of it, just in case you're wondering, like, yeah. And that would be the extent of I think, but it would depend so much on like who you are to me. I think. Yeah, what this is bringing up for me is how to practice non-attachment in relationships. I think that you do a really good job at that, actually, just because you are able to sit with someone and have a conversation with them and like iterate and continue to have like the same conversation so many different times so that people could see things differently and all. And I have never seen you stay stuck to like what you think needs to happen. And I think that is really different than other people, where I know I can speak for myself. I'm like, if I'm telling you something 1,000 times and you came to me and you asked me for advice and you still acting wild, like, miss me. You're like, don't talk to me anymore. Yeah. No, I think it's, or I'll listen, yeah. But that's it. That's it. I'd be like, okay, like, let me know what's going on. Okay, well, I said what I said last time, so. Still the case. Best of luck, though. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Thanks. Yeah, I think I do. I think it's something that's important to me because I feel like the minute, for me, in my experience, like, the minute I'm attached to, like, what someone else chooses to do with their life, then I can no longer be, like, helpful. Because then I'm, like, directing them towards, my desired, like, endpoint, which maybe isn't the right one. Like, I learned early, like high school early not to give people advice on what to do next. Because you're not me. So, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But like I learned early to not be like, I think you should do this. And if I ever feel like that's an important thing to do, I make it super clear that I'm like, this is based on what I know.
Right.
Based on what you shared, based on what I think I understand, here is a potential next step. I offered all of the like framing because I just like I don't believe that like my role ever is to tell you what to do.
Of course.
Because like I don't have any, the consequence of whatever you choose to do is not mine. So like how dare I decide that I can like direct your life in that way? Like that's not something that's within my like wheelhouse. My job is to be a witness to you. Yeah. And to offer you perspective and to be a mirror to you. And that is the extent of my role. If you get to a conclusion that I think is also a good conclusion, I'm internally know, like, finally. But that's not my job, right? Like, it's not like... Because then people feel judged, right? Then you don't share. Then you end up experiencing violence alone. And that is my non-negotiable. I think that's why I can stay. Because I don't want people to feel like they can't share what's happening. And they're like, because they're afraid that, like, someone will say, well, I already told you what to do.
Right.
That for me, that would feel like I couldn't, like, why would I tell you? Like, you're right, but I'm not ready to like walk in that truth yet, you know.
That is the question that I have been sitting with for a little while. Like, how do you sit with someone while they are being destructive to themselves and to others, and at what point do you offer your perspective without trying to change them? Or sometimes what I have found is that if you do share your perspective, then they do think you are trying to change them and you don't accept them as they are. And it's like, if I love you, then I have to be willing to share things with you that I am seeing that you may not be seeing. And that doesn't mean that I am a better person than you or anything. I just have a different life experience that gives me different perspective. But I really struggle with that, of the idea that like, when you offer somebody information, they think that you're trying to change them.
Yeah, or like
that's not loving.
Yeah. Or like they feel like corrected or something like that. It's like, that's not
but I don't know how to like share something with someone from a loving place that they don't feel that way. Like you are trying to change them.
Like, do you feel like that's true across the board, or like does it feel like it's true for like particular kind of situation?
I think mostly for me, I've experienced it in like dating. Like previously, where people would tell me like, oh, you're trying to change me and this is how I am. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't get defensive, but I definitely take a step back from sharing my opinion just because I don't want to be perceived as someone who is trying to change you. Because then, like, why would I be doing that? Yeah.
I think for me, like, when people say that to me, like, that gives me a chance to be like, what do you think I'm trying to change? Let's talk. Let's like, that's okay. That feels, because for me, I'm like, you're still saying words to me. Right. Like, I think anything besides like silence is like, there's room. So like, if somebody comes to me and it's like, that advice feels like you're trying to change me, I'm like, what do you think? What is what I'm saying? What is it trying to shift in you? So that helps me. For me, that would give me a chance to see like, how aware are you of yourself? Because then if they can't name, like, you're trying to make me different, it's like, make you different in what way? Right. So then if we get to it, then it's like, and let's say, like, for example, the answer is like, you're trying to, I don't know, like, change the way that like I interact when I give feedback to people, whatever. Like maybe they yell at people. I don't know. And then the question becomes like, okay, like, do you think that yelling at people is serving you? Right. It gives you so much more room for conversation on the other side of like that statement. So maybe like don't step back. Right. Let that statement be your chance to be like, I hear you. Like, in what way do you think I'm trying to change you? What did you hear when I said?
That is so funny that I actually really appreciate your perspective here, because like historically, I would shut down. Like, those are words that immediately make me feel as if I don't want to be never mind. I don't want to be in the conversation anymore.
No trying to change you, just giving my take.
Yeah, I'm like, no beef, you know, like hands up. Yeah. Avoid instead of like leaning in to like asking more questions. Because that used to, it didn't happen a lot, but it happened enough that I noticed it. I said, why would you think that? Or what about me is signaling that I am trying to change something from you? But obviously, I think that within the context of a romantic relationship, we are taught that women are supposed to change men, right? In like straight relationships. So I'm sure that has something that is playing a role in my inability to step forward to ask, more open-ended questions.
I think the other part of it, I mean, this is specific to you. I think, and again, this is just my read on it, is like, I think that like your words hold weight.
Yeah.
So I think that like if you are giving a take, I could understand someone's like, this is Adeline's like opinion, and therefore what I'm doing is opposite of her opinion. Therefore she's like, I could understand the like, because like I think the way you speak is very like certain, very sure, right? So that's just kind of your tone in general. So I could see how someone might take your opinion that way because they like take your words seriously, which means that you have room for more, like you can push a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like if I felt like you were trying to change me, I would shut up. I wouldn't even tell you they're trying to change me. I'd be like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the fact that they're even telling you, like, they're like still interacting with what you're saying. They're like, oh, it sounds like you're trying to change me. Like that's just like throwing the ball in your court for you to throw it back, right? It's not it's not leaving the room. Leaving the room would be being like, I take your opinion, like, bet or something. True. Right? Like that's them being like, cool.
True.
But if they are telling you anything besides that, I feel like you have a little more room to be like, all right.
Yeah.
We're saying more words to each other. Like, let's keep saying more words.
I guess the part that always baffled me is like, I thought you would know me better. I thought that you would understand that I am offering this like with love and care, not to change your entire personality or behavior. But
if you think about the scenario, like for a dating scenario, right? Like even for me, let's say like you're giving me advice. Like I'm not thinking about our relationship right now. I'm thinking about my relationship with this person. And you, in this moment, are someone who is like poking a hole into this thing that I've like spent a lot of time defending. So it doesn't matter that I know you. Because like I'm not in a state of mind where I'm like considering our relationship. Yeah. I'm considering you as a threat to my relationship. And everything you're doing is like, everything that's not affirming what I'm doing is like a threat to my relationship. Yeah. Right? So I think sometimes like that makes sense. And that would be true if it wasn't like a heightened emotional moment, but I think it's always helpful to rename your intentions, even if people know you. Yes, I do it all the time. I'm just like, hey, I just want to be clear that what I'm trying to do is, even though I think you should know at this point. People are like, yeah, I know. I'm like, great. I'm just making sure. Just want to make sure I say it out loud because a lot of stuff's going on. Like you can read into silence, like a lot, And I know me, my anxiety be telling me mad stories, right? Like you miss one phone call from me, I was like 2 weeks ago, like I didn't respond to a text. Like, shut up, so I know that I do that, like when nothing is happening to me. So, when I'm trying to give advice, I try to make sure I remove. It's the same as teaching to me. Like if I'm trying to teach you one skill, I want to isolate the skill. So if I'm trying to give you advice about your relationship, I want to make sure that no other thing is a factor, which is like my opinion, like how you think about me, our relationship. I'm just like, we're good, we're fine, we're gonna be great later. I'm just giving you my take. Like all of those things are like, that's how I think about it.
That's actually really helpful.
I'm so glad. yeah. It was hard. It's hard. And I think for dating, for me, it's like, I feel like I say this all the time. I feel like everyone experiences at least one fucked up relationship.
For sure.
Like one. And hopefully not more. Learn our lessons early and often as we can, That was not a great thing to do to microphones, but it's okay.
The microphone will forgive us.
And I think like part of the take I have here, and like even the book that we're reading right now, which we could get into in a second, like I think because I remember my experience being in it, and I remember how much I was like, yeah, this shit makes mad sense. Like, like all of my like intellect out the window, like I never had it before, right? So I remember how I felt in that. And I remember how obvious it was to everybody outside of me. Right. And not that it wasn't obvious to me. I just knew I had more color than they did for this person. Right. So I feel like because of that, like I hold that lesson so closely whenever I watch other people navigate abusive relationships. And I'm just like, I have to be more patient than I think is reasonable. Yeah. Because we're not having the same conversation. You are like defending your take on love to me, and like I'm not trying to ever question that you were like what you're doing is bad, like so there's so much vulnerability in like trying to support someone, to sit with someone navigating that kind of dynamic, that it has to be at their pace, right? Which is really, I agree, which is really challenging.
And you wonder, I know this person so well, how is it that they are in this particular scenario.
Everyone wants love.
Everyone wants love. Everyone wants to be loved.
Everyone wants to be in a relationship. Like, people just want to be cared for, you know? And, like, it's really hard to let go of something that felt like it was like that at some point. Because the fear is, like, if not this, then what?
Especially when you have spent time, years, pouring into
other people, like,
somebody.
switched up on you, and you're like, oh, that person will come back, or, like, whatever. Like, there's so many iterations, and it's just, like, it's hard to know that there's, like, something available on the other side of that experience, like, for anyone, right? Like, which is, it's just like, it's really, like, it like fucks your whole brain up so much. You know, it's crazy. Do you want to get into the book we're reading a little bit at all, or no?
Yeah, I mean, the book kind of illustrates exactly what we're talking about, right? We have, we're currently reading Heavy by Kiese Lemon, which, sorry if I butchered your name. Bless your soul.
Like, truly
bless your soul. If you see this ever, let
Call
me know
us.
you're okay. And it's a memoir. And it details his complicated relationship with his mother, his complicated relationship with himself, with everyone around him, food. And it's quite of a mess. It's quite a mess.
Yeah.
What would you like to say about it?
Okay, only two things. I feel like I only have two things, really. One is, like from, like, a purely artistic, like, writing take, I think it is so impressive.
Yes.
That he is able to write in a way that feels as chaotic as maybe it felt. And obviously, to, like, not even close to the extent that he experienced it, but, like, I'm getting whiplash just being like, wait.
No, it feels like
wait.
The way that he wrote it, you feel like you are in the room with him experiencing it, that your stomach, like, drops.
Yeah. Like, I feel like a lot of memoirs I've read prior to this one, like, they do, like, let me set the scene. And they, like, almost like, here's what happened in that space. And they, like, that's kind of the arc of the story, is, like, giving you information and, like, bringing you in the room by being like, the walls were purple, you know? But I feel like the way that he wrote this book, like, it's just like, shit is fucked. It's still fucked. And look, more things. And I'm just like, and I'm listening to it, which is interesting because he reads it. I recommend. I need
to listen.
Yeah, it's because I think he does his inflections and the things that he does are impressive. So that, I think I will say, is, like, it's just it's as like terrible and, like, as, like, traumatic as the story that he's talking about is. I think it's really refreshing that he's been able to capture it.
Yes.
With this level of, like, nuance and complicatedness. And to be fair, I haven't finished it. But what I will say, what I've read so far, I think what's so fascinating is how well he's been able to... He, like, doesn't compartmentalize. I think he does such an interest... Like, I can see his thoughts in my head of just being like, this person loves me. Or I guess they don't love... Like, he's doing all of his, like, internal narration as the story, and that is so interesting. So, from a storytelling perspective, it's interesting. But from, like, a... How do you hold people and their complicatedness? It's clear how much compassion he has for the people in his life.
Yes.
And how well he's able to articulate the level of violence he's experienced at their hands without losing any compassion for them. Because he'll tell a story, like, about his, like, family that is like, we, like, had this beautiful experience in a really detailed, beautiful way. In the same level of detail, be like, and this violent thing also is true. Like, he wouldn't mince words on either side, which I think is such an interesting, like, experience of processing trauma. So yeah, I think she just represented for me a way to hold all the things that have been true in your life and how possible it is to release them because you name them.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to say.
Yeah. And there's this interesting piece in the book that I'm still trying to, like, untangle, where he talks about the truth and the distinction between finding the truth and telling the truth. And to me, what that kind of signifies is that the truth is multiple things. So for you to be able to find it, it's like you kind of have to uncover, look around, look underneath.
All those things you're discovering also might be true.
Right.
The things you're moving out of the way.
Right. So there's, like, multiple layers of truth that are happening. And I think in this book in particular, he's telling his truth.
As, like, ground truth.
Right.
Yeah.
As what he has experienced in its totality, and that's what he's offering. He's like, here's how I saw things, here's how I experienced them. And anybody that has been in any form of abuse knows that, like, things are great and then they're not.
Yeah.
And it ebbs and flows. So he does a really good job of articulating that, but never placing, I don't know if he places blame really.
Or like more weight on one or the other. He's just like, this is the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't finished it yet, but so far he hasn't made any conclusions.
No.
Which I think is like an interesting, I appreciate it because I think it makes his point clearer. He's like, so far he's never gone to a point where he's like, and all these things now mean X.
Right.
Like, I don't know if that happens. So like, even like that's such an interesting, because I think that like we as people we're taught to kind of like define and like articulate and like simplify, again, put things in boxes and be like, here I can put this experience in a corner now. Mm-hmm. And I think there's so much more like relief and release that comes with just like not having to like label things as, they're just like, these are all of the things that just have happened.
Yeah.
And things are still happening. That's it. There's no, and now that means I'm this kind of person or whatever it may be. Like there's no like findings to discover. Mm-hmm. There's just information to share, to like put out and lay out on a table in the order in which they happen, for the sake of like memory, like archiving or whatever you want to call it. And that's the only intent, which it's such a well-written story and a really sad one. Like insane. And also like something about it doesn't feel like, remember I told you about the Instagram post about like what the difference between people who survive their trauma and people who don't are the ones who are able to verbalize it. Mm-hmm. And find language to put their like the things that are in their body into words. Mm-hmm. So there's something about the fact that he was able to not only write this book, but like it is like it's like a bestseller. Like he's talked about it, like he's done interviews on it. Like this is something he has like deeply sat with, and obviously will like continue to sit with us for the rest of his life, I'm assuming. But there has to be, I pray that there's some levity that comes to him from this, like from just knowing how to describe something that happened. And having like succinct words for very complicated and like things that are not spoken about openly. Yeah.
This is making me think about the usefulness of making meaning of an experience and then just looking at the experience for what happened. I think sometimes, similar to what you were saying, we kind of get caught up in like, what does this mean? Oh, I had this experience. Now I need to understand it. Now I need to dissect it, and so that it can make sense logically. Versus what he's doing, and what a lot of us often do, is let's just take a look at what happened.
And that's it.
Like I think that's really the level that he's at. And not to say that this person is bad or good or wrong or right. They were complicated.
Yeah. But he still says like, doing this is bad.
Right. And this causes harm.
Right. And he also says like, this is really good. This feels good. Mm-hmm. I think it was interesting to think about like, this thing happened. It made me feel good. Right. So I think he's like in real time, like sharing like what he's noticing in his body. Right. So even when I think about like how I think about trauma or how I process it, like, I feel like the meaning is only useful if it helps you.
Right.
So it doesn't act, for me, I don't know if it matters so much like what it means. Like if like calling it something makes it easier to put down, amazing. Call it whatever you need to call it. Right? Like you want to call it abandonment, call it abandonment. If that's going to help you like release it, cool. Mm-hmm. If not calling it abandonment is going to help you, then don't. Right? Like there's no like, for me, there's no rigid rules around like having to define it some way. And like we are like a very overly analytical society, whatever, right? So that is our nature, but this was such a refreshing example of this is also helpful at this level. It is as useful as conclusions or like finding like this is why I'm this way or whatever, right? All that is also maybe useful and maybe it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't know what his life is like now, but hopefully, on the other side of having like been able to put this into words, something has shifted.
I just think about the level of bravery that he has to have, because I'm pretty sure his mother is alive. And he wrote this book as a letter to his mom detailing their really complicated experience. And towards the end of the book, he almost praises her and just says like, you taught me everything I know, even though there were moments where you were really, really terrible to me and continuously were so over time. Also, towards the end of the book, he discovers that his mom has a gambling problem.
Oh.
Which makes so much sense because she never had money.
But that feels clear also early on because he talks about it. I'm like, why are y'all there?
Where?
Like when they're like gambling, I'm like, why are you guys out of? Like why is this where you're spending any time like at all? Actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes sense because his mother was a professor at like a historically Black college in Mississippi, and he couldn't understand how she was so like political and still like didn't have money, but we're working on these like campaigns. And then towards the end of the book, you're like, oh, she has a gambling problem.
Tracks.
Makes sense.
Right. Which brings all the way back to parents are people who had kids.
Parents are people
like
who
that's
had
it.
kids.
That's all that makes it different from you is that they had a child and now they're like responsible for you and themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that like yes, bravery, and I think the thing that I think about there is like maybe not at all. Right? Like just
what do you mean?
Like I think that I'm not saying there isn't bravery here. I think that this is very brave. And I wonder if instead of bravery, it's like I'm going to say these things out loud for the sake of letting them out of my body.
Mm-hmm.
Like without having to worry about the consequence of me saying it out loud.
Yeah.
So I think like it's yes, I don't want to discount the bravery, and I wonder if like it just feels like free and like liberating to just like say it and just be like yeah. Because he didn't he's not like this means this. I think it would feel like even more vulnerable. This is a very vulnerable story. Even more vulnerable to also have like shared the conclusions he's drawn from the things that happened.
Right.
That feels like a very different kind of. That feels like a harsher take.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I wonder like what kind of decision making happened for him to share this very candid version that doesn't have like all the like here's how I understand this now. Like as I think back, he's not doing that reflecting in this memoir.
Yeah,
I think it's a really interesting choice. I really like it.
Yeah. I mean, he is just telling you how it happened.
Yeah, that's it. He's not even, there's no like, you're not hearing his like present voice in it. But he did say earlier that he like started working on this a long time ago, right? He's been doing this for a long time. So it might have just been a collection of whatever entries he had about these things that were happening to him.
Yeah.
So part of me also was like, I wonder how it reads to his mom to just kind of hear these things like laid out as information, not as conclusions and not as like judgments of anything, but just like on this Thursday night, we were doing XYZ. Because like, you can't really disagree with the fact that these things happened.
Yeah.
You might disagree with what, like, how he decides to represent, or, like, he's like, it meant that this is true. Like, I would, you know, so I wonder, like, what that's done for their, like, relationship.
But there's so many interesting pieces here because on the one hand, he is telling you what happened and sure, he's not making any conclusions. And so I wonder how somebody receives that information. Right. For her to say, like, this is how...
You remember it.
It laid out. Yeah, this is how you remember it. And you can fight me on my memory, but...
That wouldn't get us anywhere.
But I'm not telling you what I think. All the things that I think about, why you made that decision, why you treated me that way, why you did this versus not this.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what it is. Like, it's just an interesting, like, social experiment a little bit to me to think about how people would receive information if they were just being told it as information versus, like... And therefore, I've concluded that you are, like, a bad parent or something, right? There was some sort of, like... I'm curious if, like, there's less defense that comes with just, like, being given information.
Yeah.
Of how I experienced something. And all I'm telling you is my experience of something. And, you know, and, like, I'm not even asking you a question. I'm just, like, letting you know this is how I experienced it. You could just sit with that information. You could decide to respond. You could not. Like, it's not an ask. It's not an active ask there. Because it ends in praise, right? So this could be like they never spoke about it, maybe, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to think about like when I think about like I think about conflict. Like when information is presented as like here is my take, it de-escalates everything so quickly. Instead of being like you're a bad person, here's why.
Right.
Here are all of my like list of reasons that I've been collecting about you, versus like just stating things as you experience them. Because I can't fight you on what you thought happened.
Yeah.
I could like correct your timeline, but like that would only get us so far. So interesting.
Yeah. What this makes me think about is that like one of the highest forms of love is honesty. Transparency. And you can tell throughout the book that he said like, I wanted to lie to you. And I wanted to tell you all
like a clean story,
a clean version of
like
this.
A one that you could like conceptualize in your head, like put in a box.
Yeah, but he didn't. And it took him 30 years to write this book.
He said I didn't and he couldn't.
You said what?
He said I didn't and I couldn't. Like he couldn't bring himself to like do anything more with the information to just like articulate it. Mm-hmm. Which I think is so.
But I think about like the length of time that it took for him to write it down and to like
work through.
Have it exit his body at least just a little bit so that he could breathe a little better. Because that's really what I think he did in this book. Like, I can't hold all of this information. It feels so heavy for me to hold it by myself. Here, let me show you what I experienced so that you can hold it with me. Which I think is his, like, ask throughout the book. Like, hold all of this nuance, like all of these complications. Hold my memory with me so that I don't have to do it on my own.
Make sure I remember it by myself.
Yeah.
Because when you forget the things that have happened to you, then you feel like you are how you are for no reason. Mm-hmm. And that's a different kind of trauma too.
Yes.
Yeah. Very, very well done.
So,
would you recommend this book to people to read?
Yes. I don't know what kind of headspace you need to be in to listen to it.
Yeah.
But I think that if you love writing, you can read it from that perspective. If you love storytelling, you can read it from that perspective. But it's definitely lives up to its name.
Yeah, I think I kind of I'm like curious how this decision got made, but I kind of respect the fact that there's not a trigger warning because I don't think your life gives you one. So like so if you're trying to give
say that again,
if you're trying to give the experience of his life, no one was like, by the way, like tomorrow. Trauma, I don't know, like so. There's something about I understand the value of trigger warnings and all of the things, and I think they're very useful and valuable. I'm not saying that we shouldn't use them.
Yeah,
but it's a decision that was made here, right? Because this is like a book that was binded and sold, whatever, right? So I think it's an interesting and creative choice to not include one.
I had no idea what this book was going to be about when I picked it up. I just liked the title. I saw he had a complicated relationship with his mom, and I just opened it up.
Is that not like the closest to truth there is? Right?
It is.
In your life, like I don't know if I've ever been warned that it was gonna suck. Like no one ever gave me a heads up, right? And then it did, and then I had to live in the world where it did, and then it didn't, right? There was, and then and you never get a warning again. It's just kind of like.
And again, especially for this book, what kind of trigger warning would you give? There's so many.
It's like it's gonna be bad. I don't know, right? Like that's what I'm saying, right? So
yeah,
I think like it made it even more of an authentic read to not offer one because no one's bracing themselves before they start because he probably didn't either. You're just kind of like existing, and then you're like, oh, and like I don't, and you don't always see things as trauma when they're happening.
Exactly.
Only in hindsight, right? So you can't even offer like a trigger warning because that would mean that you knew it was traumatic.
Yeah,
and maybe he's not even saying they're traumatic. I don't know. Like, it's just an interesting decision point.
He's just saying this is what happened, and I was confused. You can see that the main feeling that he's having throughout the book is confusion. Like he doesn't understand why things are happening, and he's trying to understand.
With like what the little he knows to be true for himself.
Yeah, he's just like, that's kind of interesting, and you can see him like. Theoretically tilting his head, right? Like trying to make sense of something. But he's just like, here's how I acted. Here's how I responded.
Yeah.
I didn't know any better.
He's like, I wonder how this person would have felt now that I understand this. Like, do they think they like that? Because he's doing some of that. Like, oh, that person probably have felt the way I feel right now in that situation. Like he's doing like, which I think people don't like, we're not good at articulating those like questions, but I can quickly resonate with the level of internal dialogue or having to be like, wait, like this feels like a thing I've done before. I've been in that person's position like earlier, and like now I'm in this position, and like it feels different. Like you're kind of always negotiating like your own understanding of things.
Yeah, and especially when you recollect a memory, you color it.
Yeah,
with what has happened after and what happened before.
Yeah.
And you can see him really doing that and then saying like, oh, did this person think about it as I did? Or did they not? Did they not see that was a problem? And if they didn't, why is that the case?
It was so cool he was able to write it, but like also in real time. Like he didn't like have his obviously he's a grown up now. His current take on the situation embedded in his like explanation of that situation. You know, that's it. That's good. That's cool.
Yeah. It's one of those books that I'll definitely have to reread again.
Yeah, I think you should listen to it.
Yeah,
and as a person who doesn't really, I don't really do audiobooks, like this one has been it's been helpful to read it, because I tried to read it like with just like on paper, and I just feel like I kept getting confused. I was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know which, like, but then when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, I can follow the story so much easier when you're just telling it to me. I just like when authors read their own stories. They know when to, like, they know how to pronounce all the words, and they know when to pause, they know when not to pause, they know how to like add whatever tone needs to be added. Yeah. All of their energy comes through. So I think for this book, like, I'm grateful that he was willing to like read these words out again, because like writing them alone was hard, so I can only imagine what reading them again.
Not only that, then going on a book tour, and people asking you about it. I haven't even gotten to like seeing any of his interviews, just because I'm like, I'm curious how you talk about these things, because I'm sure you've been asked so many times, because it's a New York Times bestseller. So I just wonder, one, I know it's freeing to write something down so even that it can leave your body.
Yeah.
And then there's a second layer of experiencing that again and again and again. That part feels really hard for me.
You're like, when do you want to stop talking about this? Do you? Maybe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But again, all in all, how do you hold people in their complexity is really the question we've been asking this whole time.
From reality TV to this, like, just things are complicated. Yeah. Do you have any takeaways for yourself?
My takeaway is that life is complicated, and there are multiple truths occurring all at the same time. And it is up to us to decipher what feels true for us, and not negotiate that with other people, but to be able to be honest with other people about it. I do believe that being honest is a form of love. What about you?
Yeah, I think my takeaway, I think it's similar. I think I really value, I don't think I identified for myself that I practice non-attachment the way that you identified it, but now that you've heard it said it, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I think I really value it, because I think it helps me like serve my community in a way that does not harm me.
Right.
And people need a lot of help. Like, so I think my takeaway, one of them at least, is that always I learn more from just talking to you, which I'm always going to be grateful for, and will say as often as I can. And that non-attachment doesn't mean like not committed to people. So I think in my head, like, there's a bit of a disconnect. Like, there was a bit of a disconnect that, like, I don't know, maybe because it's trendy to be non-attached to things. I'm like, I care about things. Like, I want to be attached to stuff. Like, you know.
Can we say that you are committed to people, not committed to the end result?
Yeah, definitely. But I think non-attachment is an okay word, because I'm not attached to like anything that happens. I'm attached to you, right? Like, I'm attached to people. Like, so, yeah. So my takeaway is that I appreciate being able to hold people's complicated like life experience next to them. And to like, you know, be very clear about my boundaries around those, because I think then we're like playing with fire a little bit. Yeah. And I don't like fire. As an earth sign, I like to stay on the ground. And then I think my takeaway for hopefully our audience is like, well, one, to be like less judgmental of like changing your mind or like doing the wrong thing, and like, or maybe thinking you could have done something better or not having done the thing you thought was better. Like, all of the ways that we like, I don't know, like self-correct so often. Like, sometimes just like, it's okay. Like, you can have a terrible reaction for a year. I don't know, like, take your time. Like, people need to get there however they get there, and the other side of that has to be high accountability. You know, like, you can have like as much leeway as you're given for the way you're acting. Your accountability has to be as long as that. I think hopefully is like, that's the like maybe academic takeaway. And I think the like relational one is process out loud. Always. Like, I don't know, I know it feels like we say it every episode, but like, it's such a useful, because you get to kind of hear from other people. Like, even the take that I gave you for what you're saying, right? Like, hopefully it reframes the way you think about like the way you support the people that in your community, right? So there's so much context that people have about like life that you might not see because you're not in their body, that just by naming your like crossroad or your rub, that they can just erase it for you just because you said it, right? Like, so there's so much value in like sharing unpolished things out loud in safe spaces, because what will come out of it hopefully is clarity and, you know, more like assuredness in yourself. Do you have one for the community or the audience? We don't have a name for the group yet. I don't know.
We're going to figure it out. My takeaway for the audience is that there are no absolutes. There are no absolutes. And so the next time that you are prescribing somebody is good or bad, just pause. Just pause and hold that they could be multiple things throughout their lifetime. And in return, offer that to yourself. That you are not your worst moment. You are not your best moment. You are. In between.
What was the word?
Equanimity.
Equanimity. Exactly, right? Like
to sit in equanimity.
It's cool. Like, yeah, maybe maybe don't be on a reality TV show. To have your worst moment played back for you often.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah. Amazing.